Next up, 3 women shot execution style at a grocery store. Japan's most haunting Nanpei supermarket mystery?
It's the story of a case that seemed like a simple robbery, but became one of Japan's most infamous unsolved mysteries. It's even considered the start of firearms crimes in Japan, drawing in both Chinese.
Yeah, the supermarket is crazy,
authorities.
Maggie.
The case rocked the police department, which eventually pleaded for public help. This is the unsolved case of the Nanpei Owada supermarket.
Lord have mercy. You can't go to the grocery store to fill your back up without people being weird, bro? Like, come on. You found out about her through Bam Bam?
On July 30th, 1995, at around 9:17.
I don't know. I feel like it's always cameras at the, grocery store. Even if it's not for like security reasons, you think, matter of fact, for security reasons only, you should have, like, I don't understand.
p.m. 3 part-time female employees
New subscriber on YouTube, by the way.
Shot dead at the supermarket. Noriko Inagaki, age 47, was found first with 2 gunshot wounds. She hadn't been restrained, so investigators believe she was the first victim. Megumi Yabuki, 17, and Hiromi Maeda, 2 high schoolers, were found tied together with adhesive tape over their mouths, each shot in the head at close range.
Wait, at a supermarket? What's really going on at this place right now? Am I tripping? Like, how is this happening?
Maeda, 2 high schoolers, were found tied together with adhesive tape over their mouths, each shot in the head at close range. Noriko's acquaintance, who came to pick her up, discovered the bodies, prompting an immediate investigation. Initially, the police suspected a robbery, given that the crime took place in a well-known supermarket. The 2 high schoolers were even bound, as if they'd been kidnapped. But upon searching, police found no signs of theft. No safe was tampered with, cash and valuables remained untouched, and the office showed no evidence of a break-in. So, what was the motive?
They said break in, Maggie, so it gotta be inside. Oh! Like, what's really going on, bruh?
Was tampered with, cash and valuables remained untouched, and the office showed no evidence of a break-in. So, what was the motive? Let's look at what happened that day. July 30th, 1995 was the last day of a 4-day Ryokaze sale at the Nanpei Owada supermarket, which made the Sunday even busier. Megumi, who worked the night shift, arrived on her bike from home around 4:48 p.m. Noriko, the store manager, had a friend drop her off, and they'd planned to meet up after her shift ended at 9 p.m. The shift was from 5 to 9 p.m., and Noriko was responsible for the store's cash deposits in the safe. Around 5:30 p.m., a customer mentioned seeing a suspicious man, around 50 years old,
50?
wearing a white shirt and gray pants, loitering outside and peering into the store. Since he didn't do anything overtly alarming,
I know from living there that in certain area of Japan, especially through rural areas, don't have a lot of cameras because usually everyone knows each other, so they tend to be oblivious to crime. That's crazy. You always got to protect yourself no matter what, for real.
The report was brushed off. An hour later, a male employee finished his shift and left, leaving just 2 women in the store.
Dang, bro, I hate this. I feel like you should always have at least, well, nah, I can't even say that because you might mess around and have a weirdo who work in there. Dang, bro, this is already not looking good. Because that means late at night, nobody working there, this lady got to walk to her car by herself. Or even if the other girl walk in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang. My bad.
Despite this,
what the hell?
It was far from quiet. Traditional Japanese music filled the air from a nearby Pon Odori festival at Kitanohara Park, just 30 meters away. The taiko drums and other instruments added a lively backdrop to the night. At around 6:50 p.m., Hiromi, who wasn't scheduled to work, came by to check her future shifts. After a quick chat with Noriko and Megumi, she decided
We had a lot of crimes that went
planning to
unknown.
leave with Megumi later. With the
That's
heavy
crazy,
customer
Potato.
flow, Hiromi naturally pitched in to help. After an hour before closing, things slowed down. Noriko figured they wouldn't get any more rushes, so she closed her register early and took the cash to the second floor safe.
Dang.
A witness saw Hiromi waiting by Megumi and overheard someone suggest, "Let's go to the festival together after work." At 8:30 p.m., a customer noticed a man in his 40s or 50s wandering around the store without buying anything. It's unclear if he was the same suspicious man seen earlier. 15 minutes later, a car drove by, with the driver, a man, peering into the store, though no description was noted.
It might be my Wi-Fi too.
Receipt found later showed that around 8:51 p.m., Hiromi bought milk and eggs. At the same time,
Facts,
he
Issa.
with a neighbor while closing the cold section's curtain in preparation for closing. This neighbor also spoke briefly with Hiromi, who confirmed she'd be going to the festival with Megumi after their shift. This interaction was likely the last time anyone saw the three victims alive.
No.
Just before closing, a young couple came in, bought groceries, and left in a white sedan. Their identity remains unknown, but investigators thought they might have seen something crucial about the night's events. With the taiko drums at their loudest, the festival reached its peak as Noriko closed the store, locking the doors and turning off the lights. A nearby resident parking his car noticed a suspicious young man in the store's office aisle. When he shone his car lights in that direction, the man tried to cover his face and walked away.
Oh,
Soon
Lord.
after,
Nah, that's suspicious, bro. Why he covering his face? I don't know any good reason why you walking out in public and somebody's like specifically trying to hide their face.
this young man in the store's office aisle. When he shone his car lights in that direction, the man tried to cover his face and walked away. Soon after, the festival ended, and the once lively area grew silent. At 9:15 p.m., Noriko called her acquaintance to pick her up from the store. Around this time, the store's security system activated, and the entrance door locked, only to be deactivated and unlocked shortly after. It's assumed that the three were threatened and forced back inside. Around 9:17 p.m., a couple of high school students heard loud noises near the supermarket, like
Oh, Lord.
gunshots. Several neighbors reported the same sounds.
So basically, he had all three of them hostage.
When Noriko's acquaintance arrived, she wasn't outside, as planned. He waited, noticed the office lights were still on, and, concerned, asked a nearby restaurant landlady to accompany him inside. Around 10 p.m., they entered the store, finding the front door unlocked. The landlady went into the office, but due to her height, didn't have a full view, so she
Dang.
called Noriko's friend to check. And that's when they found the horrific scene. Blood pooled on the floor and three bodies with gunshot wounds.
Bro, cameras could have fixed all of this for real.
They immediately reported the scene to the police, who arrived to find the store's front door unlocked with no signs of forced entry. Inside, the evidence told a chilling story. Noriko and Megumi were dressed in plain clothes, ready to leave. Noriko was lying near the office safe, shot twice from close range, with burn marks indicating proximity to the muzzle. Megumi and Hiromi lay bound and gagged in front of the safe, each
Why,
shot
though?
once in the head. Investigators believe the perpetrator used one hand for the gun and the other to handle adhesive tape, which bore fingerprints and sweat traces.
Bro, he didn't have gloves on? Keep in mind, this was 1995. Hey, Nine, this was 95, but still, I feel like in 1995, they could still get, like, fingerprints, right?
The crime scene was meticulously clean, with no disturbed items besides an apparent gunshot mark on the safe. Careful not to step in the blood, the perpetrator left few traces.
That's what I'm saying, Maggie.
Investigators found about 10 footprints, which matched two different shoe types. One set was from a brand manufactured in Hiroshima and sold in local stores.
Don't mean to kill the mood, but can y'all help me? Should I eat pizza, mashed potatoes, and turkey, or a salad? I feel like the salad should go with something, right? You just gonna eat a salad? Like your options not adding up. Me currently, I got a pizza right here next to me. You know, I'm not eating it right now. But if I was to go with something, I would go mashed potatoes and turkey, me personally.
While the other
Everybody else saying pizza.
had been available in 1990
Salad on the side.
to 1991 at Marui. The shoe size was 26 centimeters, and traces of iron fillings, clay, and moss suggested the perpetrator might work with metal, possibly in ironworks. Forensics confirmed the close-range gunshots, each bullet passing through the victim's brain stems, resulting in
This video is 3 women got shot execution style in a grocery store.
instant death. The precision indicated the perpetrator was skilled with firearms and likely experienced in killing, leading investigators to suspect a trained shooter or even a hitman. Ballistics showed that the bullets were fired from a Filipino-made Sanders Bingham .38 caliber handgun, a low-accuracy imitation of a Colt. The fact that the killer used this type of gun yet still fired with such precision led investigators to suspect someone highly skilled with firearms.
But the first girl got shot point blank range, so what do they mean by precision? It's not like he was like far away.
Led investigators to suspect someone highly skilled with firearms. The adhesive tape used on the victims had
Lord have mercy, potatoes.
and mitochondrial DNA different from the victims, likely belonging to the killer. Investigators also found glove marks on a desk in the office, suggesting the killer wore gloves initially but removed them when handling the tape. Despite these clues, the investigation hit a wall due to the lack of solid eyewitnesses or detailed descriptions of the suspect. Following the incident, the supermarket changed hands and became Himawari, but closed for good by 1998.
Dang.
The building was later demolished.
Now that I think about it, and maybe I'm just out of touch or I don't understand, because we keep saying that all grocery stores should have cameras, but this was also 1995. We got to keep that in mind. This was 1995 in a grocery store. You know what I'm saying? They might not have had cameras. And if they did, it might not have been good, you know, decent enough to really, you know, it might have been only in specific locations. So, dang, this is crazy, bruh.
Leaving only a parking lot in its place. Media coverage continued with hopes someone would recognize details.
Yeah, you're right, Maggie.
Leads. In 2001, a letter surfaced from a gang member in detention claiming a former self-defense force officer was responsible. However, no further information came from this tip. In 2003, another lead emerged when a man in his 70s, arrested for attempted bank robbery, was found to have used a firearm with ballistic similarities to the Nanpei case. Although he had a history of violent crimes, including the shooting of a police commissioner, he denied involvement in the Nanpei murders. Then in 2009, a Japanese death row inmate in China claimed he knew details about the case. A former gang leader, he mentioned that a Chinese man in his gang, who was in Japan at the time of the incident, might know the killer. Investigators tracked down this man, originally from Fujian, who had lived illegally in Japan, was deported, and later immigrated to Canada.
Dang.
He eventually settled in Toronto, working at a grocery store and living with his family. Another gang member suggested this man had inside knowledge about the store's cash handling before the murders.
How?
The Japanese government eventually secured an arrest warrant for the Chinese man, alleging a violation of the Passport Act.
Dang, I'm tipsy. We could tell. You about to eat pizza, turkey, and mashed potatoes with salad.
And requested his extradition from Canada. In September 2012, the Canadian court approved the extradition, and by November 2013, he was sent to Japan and arrested. Yet, despite hopes, he provided no information about the Nanpei case, and the investigation stalled once more. As the case dragged on, the 15-year statute of limitation approached in July 2010. Fortunately, a revision in the penal code and criminal procedure applied retroactively to cases punishable by the death penalty, extending the statute indefinitely. This case remained the oldest in the Special Investigations Division, with authorities working tirelessly. In February 2015, an update revived public interest. The fingerprints found on the adhesive tape were identified. However, they matched...
Nigga, how did it take that long? The statute of limitations is almost up and they just now figuring out who had the fingerprints from this?
Prints found on the adhesive...
I guess they didn't know where to search for I don't know.
Tape were identified. However, they matched a Japanese man who had died about a decade earlier.
Damn.
Investigators had used a special chemical to enhance the prints and compare them against 10 million records. 8 feature points matched the deceased man's prints, but this fell short of the 12-point match required to confirm a definite match by police standards. Despite not being conclusively identified as the perpetrator, the interest in the man's background grew. He had been a transportation industry official living in the Tama area, with a white sedan similar to the one spotted near the store. Around a month before the Nanpei incident, his son was involved in a costly traffic accident, which added financial stress. Notably, he had previously been questioned about the case as a witness, and his fingerprints were in the National Police Agency's database due to bonsai theft 2 years before. Yet, evidence against him was inconclusive. His alibi was supported by time card records, and there were inconsistencies in DNA analysis from his relatives. The police suspected the duct tape might have been touched by others around him, so the investigation continued.
The same duct tape that he used... Don't piss me off, bro. Y'all thought he, Never mind, bro.
Been touched by others around him, so
I'm already
the investigation continued. On the 23rd anniversary of the incident, in July 2018, the police released more details, hoping to identify a young couple who had shopped at the store just before closing. They had bought groceries, including bean sprouts, ham, and okonomiyaki ingredients.
Why do we know that?
Sedan. The police also sought information about an unknown woman seen entering the office before the incident, whose lipstick-stained cigarette butts.
I know this ain't got nothing to do with it, but why is this random pretzel in these cigarettes?
Were found in an ashtray. Her DNA didn't match any employees or vendors, and no one recognized her, leaving yet another mystery.
Yeah, this is getting too messy.
Investigators received a lead that tied back to 2009. Striation marks similar to those from the Nanpei case were found on a handgun seized from a gang member's home. This gang member, a 43-year-old serving time for drug violations, claimed he acquired the gun around 2009, but couldn't recall the source. While police doubted his direct involvement in the incident, they began investigating his acquaintances, suspecting one of them might have owned or known about the gun during the time of the murders.
Damn.
The Metropolitan Police also collaborated with the Philippine police to trace...
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. It's no amount of witnesses that's gonna help you if the crime took place in 1995 and it's 2020. It's 2020. You think this man know who gave him a gun in 2009, bro? There's no possible way. And now you talking about we gonna go around and see who he associate with. Maybe they know something. Bro, I promise you, if you don't find the person who actually did it, nobody's gonna know, bro. So much stuff happened.
Distribution of the gun, hoping it would lead back to the killer. As detectives continued to probe the possible motives, they revisited the robbery theory. The Nanpei Owada supermarket had long been infamous for lax security, often leaving the office door unlocked even at night.
No.
Employees would openly carry cash from the registers to a second-floor safe using an outdoor stairwell visible to anyone nearby.
Bro, am I the only one seeing fucking flaws in this? Nigga, y'all leaving office doors open through the night. In order to put the money in the safe, you gotta go outside where niggas could literally just sit outside in a car and plot on your ass? Like, are we kidding? What is going on here?
Employees would open...
No cameras. Like, y'all literally setting y'allself up. If I'm one of these random ass gang members and I got nothing to lose, you don't think I'm scheming like a motherfucker to get this money on, nigga? You're a supermarket. I know y'all got cash coming through that bit. Like, y'all literally set yourself up. I'm not gonna lie. This is bad.
Openly carry cash from the registers to a second-floor safe using an outdoor stairwell visible to anyone nearby. Noriko herself had reportedly expressed concerns about this risky procedure, making the supermarket a potential target for criminals.
Exactly. That's what make this tricky. This was in 1995. It's 2020 now. Now where we at in the story is 2020. It's over with. You're done for.
Noriko's body position.
That gun been passed around more than a girl who done worked at the club for 20 years. It's over with.
Raised suspicions. As the store manager with access to the safe, it seemed plausible that the killer had tried to force her to open it. The two younger employees were bound and gagged, possibly to prevent them from interfering, while Noriko was left untied, likely to gain her compliance. When she didn't cooperate, the killer may have become agitated, abandoning the plan and shooting all three victims before fleeing. With 4 bullets used on the victims and 1 shot aimed at the safe, it's possible the killer fired at the safe to intimidate them or as a last-ditch attempt to open it.
So he didn't get no money?
Reported seeing suspicious individuals around the supermarket on the day of the incident. A middle-aged man peering into the store, another man loitering without buying anything, a white sedan slowly driving past, and a man who turned away and walked off when a neighbor's car lights illuminated him near the store after closing. These figures added to the mystery, fueling speculation that the crime may have involved multiple people. The robbery theory seemed the most plausible, but there were inconsistencies. For one, there was no direct evidence that the killer tried to steal from the safe. The investigators noted that the footprints at the scene suggested a simple in-and-out path.
Okay.
The killer entered, walked straight to the safe, lingered briefly, then left after the shootings. Nothing in the office appeared rummaged, and no drawers were opened. Oddly, Noriko's wallet was untouched, and a paper with the safe's passcode was left out on her desk. If this was a robbery, why wouldn't the killer have forced Noriko to open the safe, especially since the key was still in it? Another disturbing detail.
Wait, the key was still in it? Did he get the money?
Noriko was shot twice, once in the left forehead at close range,
the bullet was shot at the safe.
Once directly on top of her head. This ruthless method of shooting was...
Thank you so much for the follow, K West, Leo.
...was hard to execute, leading many to believe that the killer had a personal grudge against her. This grudge theory gained traction, prompting a deeper look into Noriko's past. Noriko had previously worked as a hostess and had a falling out with an acquaintance.
Oh, Lord.
According to those who knew her, she had received threatening letters containing box cutter blades.
I don't think you got any money.
Like,
that's what I thought.
If you continue like this, you will die.
Huh?
Although the sender's identity remains unknown, some believed it to be the same acquaintance. Noriko was known for her temper and had reportedly tried to cut ties with this man, possibly over financial issues. This backstory led many who knew her to think the case wasn't a robbery, but a murder based on personal vendetta. As for the 2 teenage girls, there's no indication they were the targets, leading many to believe they were tragic, innocent bystanders if the...
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it was a hitman, why he took out... I guess he took them out because they was witnesses, but still... This whole case is crazy. It's just so many holes in the story, so many, like, I got so many questions that I'll never get the answer to, and that's what's aggravating me about this whole situation.
The grudge theory is correct. Some even speculated it might be a mix of both motives, grudge and robbery. The Nanpei Owada store had a history of shoplifting, and the owner had once put up a sign aimed at thieves and bastards, which sparked resentment. Perhaps someone wanted to teach a lesson, but
wait, who used that? Bro, you got people stealing and you calling them bastards on the signs?
Put up a sign aimed at thieves and bastards, which could have sparked resentment. Perhaps someone wanted to teach a lesson, but escalated in violence. However, this theory lacks strong evidence. Today, this case stands alongside the Setagaya family murder and the Sophia University murder as one of Japan's most infamous unsolved mysteries of the Heisei era. Due to the elimination of the statute of limitations for severe crimes, the Metropolitan Police continue their investigation.
But I'm trying to figure out what would make the owner want to off 3 people. Like, that's just, I don't understand the motive. Like, you got people stealing from your store. You got bigger fish to fry. Like,
they've been offering a 6 million yen reward for information that could finally bring.
And his store closed down 2 years after that. So did he lose out on a bunch of money? Like,
justice to the victims. Friends and family have held memorials for the victims, praying for answers.
A lot of the times, the owner of the business, all of the time, don't be there. Like, it just be like a manager of that store. It don't really be like the owner. And a lot of the times, the manager don't end the shift for real. Now, it depend on how big the store is, but like at a grocery store, it might be one manager in there at the end of the shift. It's never the owner. The owner never worked there.
So, what do you think about this case? Which theory makes the most sense to you?
Maybe because people didn't go there anymore.
And that is all for today. Thanks for watching.
He needs some milk.
That's what I need. And I can't get it because they decided to kill 3 innocent people for no reason at all in the grocery store. And I don't know why. I feel like I just found out about this for no reason. Like, nobody got justice. Dang, bro. I guess it can't be a happy ending to every single story. Wild and confusing. Yeah, it had a lot more views than the last 3 videos that she did. Yep, the store manager was targeted and the 2 teens were just collateral damage. That's what I think. Whoever was talking about her voice, it say, Megan, although the material is dark and tragic, your hypnotic voice is a pleasure to listen to. Now, I ain't gonna lie, she got a